it's Will and Tom from PC Gamer. We're here at PAX South 2016, the AMD booth. Tom, you just got to try VR for the first time ever.
I did. I had used the Samsung Gear before,
Okay.
that little kind of phone one, but I've heard from Wes, our hardware editor, that's nowhere near on the level of others, and I got to use the Crescent Bay, Oculus Rift Crescent Bay prototype, and then I got to use the previous version of the Vive and the Vive Pre, and I got to play a total of 5 games.
What did you play?
I played this basically like a Marble Madness game called Marble Mountain.
Okay, yeah.
Which was a little fun but a little weird. And then I played on the Oculus Crescent Bay. I played Eve Valkyrie, Lucky's Tale, and Edge of Nowhere. And then finally I played this weird, like, racing game thing on this bike called the Verzoom, where that was what I played with the Vive Pre, and it was basically a stationary bike where you pedaled, and that determined how fast you were going in the game. So I got, I ran the gamut, right? I did a couple third-person platformers. I did Eve Valkyrie, which I've heard is like the one you should go do if you're going to try VR only once, and then I did some weirder stuff.
That's the main one I've done.
That's your experience too?
But
yeah, and it was great. I mean, it was really, really cool stuff. It was strange being a part of the conversation of VR for so long and never having used it. So I'm just really glad that I've had my head on that so far. I can't say hands on.
Had it on your head, really.
One of the two, yeah. I was trying to go for like a heads on, instead of a hands on. I'm not sure.
On heads.
Either way.
Okay. But Eve Valkyrie, so you were starting to talk about that. What did you think? Was it, I mean, because you've been hearing about it for so long.
Yeah.
Better than you expected, worse than you expected, different? In what ways?
A mix. First of all, I think that I didn't experience anything that I would call presence in any of these demos, but some of them I don't think you're supposed to, and also I think it's hard to do that on a show floor where there's music blasting and there's lots of people talking and you're having a conversation with someone behind you and that sort of stuff. It was a slightly bit underwhelming, I think, because I've had it so hyped up for me, but it was still incredible, right? The thing that I loved about Eve Valkyrie was that I didn't realize how much it was affecting me, the VR, until a ship came at me and it flew over my head and I just tracked it. Like, instead of having to turn my ship real slow if I was doing it in not VR, I was just looking at the ship the entire time.
Right.
And as it was going over me, I just knew where it was the whole time, and then I was changing the controls with the Xbox One controller. And that was amazing. Like, that was really, really cool. The thing that was a little disappointing that I've noticed with all the games I've played on VR is that I haven't seen a game in VR where the graphics wowed me yet.
Okay.
Like, the VR experience wowed me, but it feels kind of like VR has reset the bar on what graphics can be in PC gaming. And I spoke with a VR guy from AMD about this earlier today, and he kind of agreed where essentially graphics got so good that the only way to improve them in the last year or so has been increased resolutions, increased frame rates. We've hit a plateau on how good graphics can really, really blow you away.
Right, 4K.
Yeah, 4K is like the next step up.
Right.
The Rift and the Vive and VR totally resets that, because now these systems need to be extraordinarily strong in order to run these games at high frame rates, at least 60 frames per second, 72 frames per second. So low quality graphics are going to be or not low quality, but lower than we're used to, are going to be more the norm in VR, and then technology is going to have to get pushed forward again, and we're going to have to get these graphical improvements as technology gets pushed, which I'm really excited for. I think that's going to be great.
I want to go back to Eve because when I played it, I actually was wowed. It was better than I expected, and I did feel immersed. So I played it at E3. I'm not sure if it was a slightly older build, but I agree the graphics it's not like I'm playing some, next-gen AAA. By next-gen, I mean next-gen PC, not next-gen console, because next-gen console games aren't actually that impressive graphically.
Right.
That wasn't like, oh my god, but the oh my god thing for me was the immersion. And when we were talking to the VR bike team, one of the things they were saying is, you run into these issues with VR where if you try to make your character, your avatar in whatever the game is, do things that you yourself are used to doing, the immersion breaks. So
Right.
something like, you know, if you're on this VR cycle and you're cycling, we're so used to what a bike feels like that it totally breaks the immersion, because even it's just so ingrained in our head that doing exactly that breaks the immersion. So what I've seen, and we can talk about this a little bit with the third-person view games, is that when you're actually in a first person, you know, you can get a little sick if you're moving using a controller. You know, like, okay, move forward, and you're like, whoa. Whereas if you're the camera, if you're controlling the camera with your head rather than controlling the eyes of your character, it adds a level of break, and that's one of the things that really excited me. And so, Eve, you're not the ship, you're the pilot in the ship.
Yeah.
And so you can move around and track, and that's what created for me the immersion.
Yeah, and compared to my experience in Elite Dangerous, where I'm playing not in VR,
Right.
I would usually, when I was in dogfights, stare at the little radar thing to guide me, just find out where my target went. And this, I was barely looking at a radar at all. I was just looking out the windows, you know,
Right.
like you were saying. And on third-person games, the coolest thing to me in a third-person game was looking backwards, actually, was when I got through this whole area in like Lucky's Tale or Edge of Nowhere, I would turn around and I would just see the world behind me. And it was kind of, it was a point of view. I love third-person platformers, and it was a point of view I'd never really taken in those games, and I thought it was very cool.
Those are the challenges I just completed.
Yeah.
Like, oh wow, I got all the way down that.
Yeah. It made you really feel like you were the camera in that world.
Do you think it's gonna take off the way that we're sort of hoping it will?
I don't know. I came away a little less sure of that than I thought I would.
Really?
Yeah. I think that it absolutely is going to be a game changer. I don't think that VR is dead. I think everybody who says, oh, VR is just a gimmick, I think that's wrong. But it is earlier than I thought it was. You know, you see everyone talking about how great VR is. And I pre-ordered an Oculus Rift, and I'm still really excited for the Oculus Rift, but it's finally kind of hit me using it that we are in like the first year. We are in the first stages of VR, and that it's only going to get better, and it's only going to get more immersive, and the game's graphics and hardware are only going to get better. And I didn't really put those pieces 100% together before I tried it. Once again, I think it's really, really amazing, and I think it's absolutely, I'm excited about my pre-order more having tried it.
Nice.
But it's just, I don't know, it's earlier than than my hype had built me up for, I guess.
Well, cool. It's great you finally got your hands on it. I want to try it out more. Hopefully I'll get a chance in the next couple hours, because again, I've only tried Eve Valkyrie, but it's great. I'm excited. 2016, we're going to see a lot of stuff. I'm going to be at your house a lot when you get the kit, so that'll be cool.
Yeah,
but,
I definitely came away excited. That's
yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, it'll be dope to see what's next.
Yeah.
For more from PAX South 2016, check out PCGamer.com.